In terms of the other candidates in South Carolina, there is, of course, Ron Paul, who, as I mentioned before, is doing pretty well in the most recent South Carolina polling. He was third in Iowa, he was second in New Hampshire, and he's polling third and rising in South Carolina right now. Back home in Texas, a federal appeals court today cleared the way for immediate enforcement of Texas's new, rather radical anti-abortion law. This is kind of amazing. Think about this for a second. This is the new law. The new law says that any woman who wants to have an abortion in the state of Texas will now be forced by the government of the state of Texas to undergo a medically unnecessary ultrasound, even if she does not want that ultrasound and even if her doctor does not think it's in her interest. Doctors can be prosecuted and can lose their licenses to practice medicine unless they force their patients to undergo medically unnecessary ultrasounds against their own medical judgment and the interest of their patients because the government of the state wants them to do it. Ron Paul, of course, is running as the libertarian, no invasive government guy. Asked about this new law, asked about the mandatory forced ultrasound law that's just been passed in his home state of Texas, Ron Paul said today, quote, "It should always have been a Texas state position." You want big, literally, physically intrusive government dictating to doctors how to practice medicine? Then Ron Paul is your guy, America. Mr. Liberty. Wow. That brings us back, though, to that meeting of conservative religious right types tonight in Texas. For all of Ron Paul's radical anti-abortion libertarian heresy, Time magazine reports today that the only 3 non-Mitt Romney candidates that the religious right people are considering tonight at that ranch in Texas are Newt Gingrich, Rick Perry, and Rick Santorum. So not only John Huntsman, but also radical anti-abortion, big government interventionist Ron Paul, they somehow, with the religious right, they do not cut the mustard. They're not even being considered. Republican politics are weird, and they are really internally inconsistent, and they are therefore radically unpredictable, which at times like this, on Fridays like this, in political seasons like this, which is why I have the best job in the world.